the Bakassi Peninsula, a place of stunning natural beauty, where the land meets the sea in a harmonious embrace. It's a place most people haven't heard of, a hidden gem tucked away from the world's spotlight. But for those who call it home, it's everything. It's their sanctuary, their livelihood, and their heritage. Nestled in the Gulf of Guinea, this small piece of land is rich in more ways than one. Its landscapes are a testament to nature's bounty. Its fertile waters teem with fish, a lifeline for local fishermen. These waters provide sustenance and a way of life that has been passed down through generations. And beneath the waves lie reserves of oil and gas, a treasure coveted by nations. These resources have the potential to transform the region's economy. But Bakassi's story is not just about resources. It's about people. It's about the communities that have thrived here for centuries. It's about the lives caught in the middle of a conflict not of their making. A conflict that has brought uncertainty and hardship to their doorsteps. The people of Bakassi are primarily fishermen and farmers. They have a deep connection to the land and sea, relying on them for their daily needs. They lived off the land, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of nature. Every sunrise and sunset marked the beginning and end of their labor. For generations they knew no other home. Their traditions, stories, and way of life were deeply rooted in this land. But their peaceful existence was shattered when two powerful forces collided, colonialism and its long, messy shadow. The legacy of colonialism brought borders and disputes, forever altering the fate of the Bakassi Peninsula and its people. The late 19th century saw the scramble for Africa reach its peak. European nations, driven by a mix of economic interests, national pride, and a belief in their own superiority, raced to claim as much territory as possible. This period, often referred to as the Scramble for Africa, was marked by intense competition and negotiation among European powers. European powers carved up the continent like a birthday cake, paying little heed to existing boundaries or the people who lived there. They drew arbitrary lines on maps, often splitting ethnic groups and communities, creating a patchwork of colonies that would later become modern African nations. Britain and Germany, two of the main players in this colonial game, set their sights on what would become Nigeria and Cameroon. These regions, rich in resources and strategically located, were highly coveted by both empires. The competition between these two powers was fierce, and their actions would shape the future of the region. In 1913, an agreement was struck. This agreement, known as the Anglo-German Agreement, was meant to settle disputes and define the boundaries between British and German territories in Africa. It was a diplomatic effort to bring some order to the chaotic scramble for land. Germany, then in control of Cameroon, was given control of Bakassi. This small peninsula, though seemingly insignificant at the time, was strategically important due to its location and resources. The agreement was just one of many that divided Africa without considering the impact on local populations. This seemingly simple agreement, a line drawn on a map by distant empires, would have far-reaching consequences. The borders drawn by colonial powers often ignored the realities on the ground, leading to tensions and conflicts that would last long after the colonial era ended. Years later, after the dust of World War I settled, Britain found itself administering parts of Cameroon, including Bakassi, from Nigeria. The Treaty of Versailles had stripped Germany of its colonies and Britain took over the administration of these territories. This new arrangement was supposed to be temporary, but it created a complex situation on the ground. This arrangement, though intended to be temporary, sowed the seeds of a conflict that would simmer for decades. The arbitrary borders and the legacy of colonial rule left a lasting impact on the region, leading to disputes and tensions that would continue to affect the lives of the people in Nigeria and Cameroon long after the colonial powers had left. The mid-20th century brought a wave of independence to Africa. Nigeria and Cameroon, newly freed from colonial rule, were eager to chart their own courses. But the ghost of colonialism lingered, particularly in Bakassi. Both countries laid claim to the peninsula. Cameroon pointed to the 1913 treaty, the ink now decades old but still, in their eyes, valid. Nigeria countered with the fact that they had been administering Bakassi for years, that Nigerians lived there, fished its waters, and called it home. The stage was set for a bitter dispute. The 1980s and 1990s saw tensions rise. Military skirmishes erupted with tragic consequences. The disputed waters of Bakassi turned red with blood. Nigerian fishermen who had known no other life than plying these waters were caught in the crossfire. Their livelihoods were destroyed, their lives upended. The international community watched with growing concern. Something had to give. The conflict threatened to destabilize the region, with potential repercussions far beyond Bakassi's shores. It was clear that a peaceful resolution was needed. In 1994, Cameroon, seeking a definitive resolution, took the dispute to the International Court of Justice, the principal judicial organ of the United Nations. Located in The Hague, Netherlands, the ICJ is often referred to as the World Court. Its judgments carry significant weight in international law. After years of legal arguments and deliberations, the ICJ reached a verdict in 2002. The ruling came as a blow to Nigeria. The court, citing the 1913 treaty as the primary basis for its decision, ruled in favor of Cameroon. Nigeria was ordered to withdraw its military and administration from the Bakassi Peninsula. The ICJ ruling was a bitter pill for Nigeria to swallow, but the country ultimately chose the path of peace. In 2006, under the watchful eyes of the United Nations, the United States and the United Kingdom, Nigeria and Cameroon signed the Green Tree Agreement. This agreement outlined the peaceful transfer of Bakassi to Cameroon. It was hailed as a victory for diplomacy, a testament to the power of dialogue over conflict. But on the ground, in the villages and fishing communities of Bakassi, a different story was unfolding. The transfer of Bakassi was completed in 2008. While the world celebrated a peaceful resolution, the human cost of this political settlement was often overlooked. For the Nigerians who had called Bakassi home for generations, the handover was nothing short of life-altering. They were given a stark choice: stay and accept Cameroonian citizenship or leave the only home they had ever known. Many chose to leave, facing an uncertain future as internally displaced persons in their own country. They left behind their homes, their livelihoods, their ancestral lands. The emotional toll was immeasurable. The Bakassi Peninsula dispute is a stark reminder of the enduring legacy of colonialism. This small but strategically significant piece of land has been a point of contention for decades, a symbol of the arbitrary decisions made by colonial powers that continue to affect modern nations. The lines drawn on maps by distant administrators, often with little regard for the people living there, have left a lasting impact on the region. Arbitrary lines drawn on maps by colonial powers continue to have real-world consequences, shaping borders, identities, and destinies. These borders, often drawn with a ruler and a pen, have divided communities, separated families, and created conflicts that persist to this day. The Bakassi Peninsula is a prime example of how these historical decisions continue to influence the present. The conflict also highlights the challenges of resolving territorial disputes, particularly when they are intertwined with issues of history, national pride, and the lives of ordinary people. The people living in these border regions often find themselves caught in the middle, their lives disrupted by decisions made far away. Community meetings and local negotiations are crucial in addressing these issues, but they are often fraught with tension and uncertainty. Even today, years after the handover, tensions persist. The waters around the Bakassi Peninsula remain a hotspot for disputes, with border patrols from both nations frequently encountering each other. These interactions can be tense, reflecting the underlying mistrust and unresolved issues that continue to simmer beneath the surface. Issues related to fishing rights, border demarcation, and the treatment of Nigerians in Bakassi continue to strain relations between the two countries. The local fishermen, who rely on these waters for their livelihood, often find themselves at the center of these disputes. Their daily lives are a testament to the ongoing struggle for resources and recognition in this contested region. The dispute serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that true peace involves more than just the transfer of land. It requires addressing the underlying human dimensions of conflict. Peace talks and negotiations are essential, but they must go beyond political agreements to address the needs and rights of the people affected. Only by acknowledging and addressing these human dimensions can lasting peace be achieved in regions like the Bakassi Peninsula. The Bakassi Peninsula dispute, though a regional conflict, holds valuable lessons for the international community. It underscores the importance of peaceful conflict resolution, the need to address the root causes of disputes, and the enduring impact of colonialism on the world today. Most importantly, it reminds us that, behind every border dispute, every territorial claim, are human lives. It is the responsibility of the international community to ensure that these lives are not forgotten, that the human cost of conflict is never ignored. Only then can we hope to build a world where disputes are resolved peacefully and where the mistakes of the past are not repeated. If you found this story insightful, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Do you think the ICJ made the right decision? Let's talk about it in the comments and stay tuned for more powerful cases from all over the world. See you next time.